We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey, so make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T, and I hope everybody's doing good today. Make sure you guys have your teacups ready.
Get ready. Y'all get ready.
Yes, you get ready.
Because this tea is what? Piping hot. All right, so I want to come on here and talk about the whole Russell Simmons situation. So if you guys don't know, Russell Simmons is one of the latest ones who is being accused of rape. A model named Keri Claussen told the LA Times that she was raped by Russell Simmons in his apartment back in 1991 when she was 17 years old. Since then, others have come against Russell Simmons and Brett Ratner as well, who Russell Simmons has always claimed was like a son to him.
Keri Claussen was just 17 in 1991 when she says she ran into Brett Ratner and Russell Simmons at a New York City music video casting call. 34-year-old Simmons was already a successful music mogul as founder of Def Jam Recordings. Ratner was breaking into the music video scene. Kaligi says Ratner asked her to join them for dinner, and that Simmons then invited both of them up to his apartment. She says she thought she was going to watch a new music video, but says instead, things took a terrible turn. Kaligi says as the video played, Simmons began sexually assaulting her. She says as she was fighting Simmons off, she looked over to Ratner for help. No help came, and Kaligi now believes Ratner was in on it. She says Simmons ripped off her clothes, trying to force her to have intercourse while Ratner looked on. Simmons denies it, saying, "I completely and unequivocally deny the horrendous allegations of non-consensual sex against me with every fiber of my being. I know Keri Claussen and remember the weekend in 1991 that she has referenced. Everything that happened between us 26 years ago was completely consensual and with Keri's full participation." Through his lawyer, Brett Ratner told the LA Times he had no recollection of Kaligi asking him for help and denied witnessing her protest. At least 14 women have now publicly accused Brett Ratner of sexual misconduct. Ratner's lawyer categorically denies all of the claims.
And now, in an exclusive interview, I am joined by Keri Claussen from Los Angeles. Keri, thank you so much for being here.
Hi.
Let's go back to that day when you were just 17 years old, from the heartland, trying to make it as a model, and you found yourself inside Russell Simmons' apartment with Brett Ratner there. What was the first sign you had that something was wrong, that there was trouble?
Well, as the video was playing, Russell came over and started making advances. And at the time, I thought it was a joke. And it became increasingly apparent that it wasn't a joke. And he continued his advances. And I looked over at Brett at that point for help. And I'll never forget the look on his face. It was in that moment that I realized, I think this was their plan all along. There was no help that was going to come.
How did you communicate, I don't want this?
By body language, by it's very apparent when somebody doesn't want an advance to happen. My body was closed. I was frozen. I looked over at Brett and asked for help because I thought we were friends. It was a very confusing and terrifying moment.
Later, Russell Simmons would write a book talking about his friendship with Brett. And he talked about how Brett Ratner was willing to do anything to be of use to Russell, who was like a father figure to him, and wrote, after he hung around a bit and figured out this is Simmons, that I liked models. He made it his business to take me to every model's apartment he could find. I mean, when you read that years later, how did that put into perspective, if at all, what happened to you?
It made complete sense. That in the fashion circles, it was widely known, their reputation for being kind of modelizers and preferring that kind of company. And it made a lot of sense. It made my story make a lot of sense.
I know you told the LA Times
If you guys want to read the whole LA Times report, definitely look it up. I read the entire report and it's definitely disturbing. Since then, Russell Simmons has come out on Instagram and he's denying the report. And he's basically saying that, they might have dated, everything was consensual, but he basically denies raping her. So anyways, honey, in other Russell Simmons news, basically Terry Crews has put him on blast. So if you guys, I remember I've been following up with this story. Terry Crews came forward last month about accusations against a powerful Hollywood agent. Come to find out that Hollywood agent is Adam Venit, who claims to be a straight man, has a wife and babies, you know what I'm saying? He's all big and buff, but yet and still he's out here snatching up grown man's packages like his damn name is Mama D or some shit.
And you're the reason why I dedicate my life.
Your mom's a hoe.
I deserve. Oh wow. I deserve. Oh wow.
Bitch.
I deserve.
Where's your integrity? Where your morals? Where your values as a woman and as a mother?
Hey, man, get your dick grabbing ass
Where
out
are
here,
they?
man. Somebody try to talk to you, dick grabber.
I'm gonna need him to have several damn seats. So after he put him on blast, and we all know he went to go file the police report, Russell Simmons basically sent him an email last week, and I guess maybe Terry Crews just got to the email, honey. Terry Crews took a screenshot of the email, and he blasted Russell Simmons all over Twitter. And this is what Terry Crews says. Russell Simmons sent me a message regarding my sexual assault case against Adam Venit of WME. Dear Uncle Rush, no one gets a pass. And this is what Uncle Rush Card had to say. So Uncle Rush Card says, did he ever apologize? Give the agent a pass. Ask that he be reinstated. With great love, all things are possible. Now, I'm going to need Russell Rush Card Simmons to have a tall glass of shut the fuck up. I've never bought this whole, pseudo-spiritualist, yoga. I've never bought into none of that bullshit with Russell Simmons. Now, I've met Russell Simmons. I met him a few years ago. And, he seemed nice. He was very polite and stuff like that. We were at one of the meetings at the Million Man March. I have met him personally. And even before then, I met him down in Florida, like when I was a lot younger. So he just seemed like a regular guy. So I never understood this whole ho-hum-hum, yoga, this deep spiritual persona that he tries to put on, because it's like, I don't know, I just never bought into it personally. But, I've met him before, but that does not negate all this shit that's coming out about him now. And that's what a lot of people need to realize is just because you've met somebody in passing or because somebody's your favorite celebrity, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily innocent or beyond reproach. And regardless of the situation, I just got to keep it real and be honest with my feelings in this video. Let's keep it real. This man got with Kimora Simmons when she was 17 years old, okay? Tyra Banks even talked about this. He was messing with her at 17. I remember Tyra Banks talking about it on America's Next Top Model. And I also found this old interview of Kimora Simmons, and do not be fooled by how grown she looks. She's only 15 in this interview, and even in this interview, she's talking about how these grown men who are in their 30s and 40s were trying to get with her, and she's always having to remind them she's only 15. And the funny thing is, 2 years after that interview, Russell Simmons ends up dating her. So I'm definitely giving him the side eye when it comes to this entire situation with Keri. I want you guys to go ahead and check out this Kimora Simmons interview. Check this out.
She's only 15 years old and is the toast of the international high fashion world. And this gorgeous 6-foot-tall model leads a double life. Part of the time, she's that real-life Cinderella who dresses up for the ball. But back home in St. Louis, Missouri, she's 10th grade student Kimora Perkins.
The gorgeous gown, it's easy to get wrapped up in it. But no, it didn't overtake me, because I knew I still had to take off the gown and come home and go back to school. So it was easy to keep my feet on the ground.
Kimora spends 12 weeks out of the school year away from home working in Europe and New York for the likes of Chanel and Yves Saint Laurent. Although she won't turn 16 until next May, she's remarkably mature and says that she's able to keep her distance from the darker undersides of her seemingly glamorous profession.
People get caught up on mental and psychological trips, and they get into things like drugs and alcohol, and they're dating people to get certain places. And some people get really confused as to why they're there. There's a lot of things like that going on do this will make you better, this will make you prettier, this will make you feel good, and when you're stressed out, drink this will make you feel, oh God, you have to really watch out for that. They don't know how old I am when they approach me. I'm not a 19-year-old, 21-year-old person. And I have men that are 40 years old that want to take me out to dinner, and it's just not something that I need to be seen even in right now.
Back in August of this year, Uncle Rush Card was, basically being creepy on Chanel Iman's Instagram page. So she posted this picture of herself and she's saying my type of view. And then all of a sudden here comes Uncle Rush Card talking about mine too. Hey, Chanel. With the little amen praise. So his younger daughter, Aoki Lee, she comes on there and she says at Uncle Rush, Dad, stop. You are so embarrassing. Then he comes back and he says, that's our family, silly, LOL. And then he comes back, he says, yes, I can't spell. And then he goes, Aoki, that's your sister and my buddy. Don't make a scene, LOL. The fact that the daughter was so uncomfortable that she had to come onto Instagram and kind of check her dad, just makes me continuously give him the side eye. I mean, we all know he definitely likes younger chicks. Him and his girlfriend have a 30-year age difference. And my thing is, if you consider Chanel Iman like family, then why would you even make a comment like that? Like, to me, that came off as more disturbing. So you consider her like family, but yet you like the views. Okay, Uncle Rush Card, we see you, boo. I wonder if he'd be okay with a 50-year-old man, screwing Ming Lee, who is a beautiful girl who's modeling herself. I wonder if he'd be okay with some grown man smashing his daughter the same way he was smashing her mother. So this whole situation is disturbing. For him to ask Terry Crews to drop the charges, and then to try and throw that bullshit saying at the end with great love, all things are possible. Miss me with the pseudo-intellectual, spiritual bullshit, okay? Adam Vanit did something wrong and he deserves to be blasted and possibly prosecuted, okay? So instead of you showing sympathy towards another black man, you're trying to get that black man to drop charges on your little white homeboy. Mr. Rush Card, I'm gonna need you to have a tall glass to shut the fuck up and have several seats. And I'm glad that Terry Crews put your ass on blast, okay? How you doing? But, when you say that, you're just a hater, but whatever. Anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Let me know what you guys think about this entire messy situation, honey, with Uncle Rush Card and Terry Crews putting his ass on blast for trying to get him to drop the charges and get Adam Vanit reinstated back with WME. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you click that bell so you can be down with the notification squad, honey. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.